I need your jersey.
And welcome to the Super Terb Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Turbot Group, Cole Banger, HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb. And I am excited because I'm out on location at GOLFTEC North Raleigh with a good friend of mine and my instructor and coach, Matt Fry. Say what's up, man.
How are you?
Yeah, Matt is joining me, guys, and the weather is warming up. And I know a lot of my friends out there are looking to get their golf game better. And, guys, I've been coming to GOLFTEC for almost a year now, and I can truthfully say I've almost shaved 10 strokes off my game. Matt's put up me. He's done an amazing job, and it's really helped me. So I was like, man, you got to come on my podcast, brother, and you need to tell everybody more about yourself. I want to tell about what you've done. Matt is a graduate from Towson University. Yeah. He was an All-American Honors 2013, 2014, pursued the dream of the PGA Tour, right?
Yep.
We'll get into all that. I got a lot of great questions. You had, I think, 6 mini tour victories, which we'll talk about. Now you're a certified coach with GOLFTEC. And, man, I'm telling you, the way you teach the game is just awesome. So I'm really excited for you to tell your story. But before we do that, Matt, I always do a little real estate update. And something that I talked about this week is I'm getting a lot of questions on whether or not this is a seller's market still because homes are starting to sit a little bit longer, or we're maybe seeing some inventory out there on the market. And, guys, I could say truthfully it's still very much a seller's market because the way we determine that is the supply versus the demand. And as of last month's stats, we are still sitting at just a little over 2 months of inventory in Wake County. And to be a buyer-seller market, guys, we need about 5 to 6 months supply of homes. So we're a far cry from that, from where we need to be. And I don't know if we're going to get there anytime soon, but a few years ago, we were down as little as 2 weeks of inventory. We've seen tremendous appreciation. Sellers are sitting on equity. The difference, guys, is over the last couple of years, new construction has made a little bit of a comeback. Buyers have options. Rates, of course, going up has slowed things down. So the market has adjusted, but we're seeing appreciation anywhere from 3.5% to 9% over the last year in Raleigh area, specifically more towards the 9%, but Wake County anywhere from 3.5% to 5%. So if there's any questions you guys have regarding your house, how much equity you're sitting on, we're here to help you, and would love to help you in any way. But we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, we're going to have Matt Fry, man, from GOLFTEC North Raleigh. And welcome back to the Super Terb Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Turbot Group, Cole Banger, HPW, again, a.k.a. Super Terb and a.k.a. Coach Terb. We started this podcast, Matt, about a little over 4 years ago. It's hard to believe. Wow. To talk real estate, business, sports, and beer, and the triangle, all things I love. And but wanted to talk mainly to local business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, and just so you could tell your story. And it's been awesome, man. I think you're on episode 84.
I saw that.
So this is big time. Yeah, you're live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're going to be on Apple, Spotify. So matter of fact, I've got to share this to my personal page. But go ahead and tell everybody again. I've said your name a few times and tell me who you are and where you're from.
So grew up in Maryland, moved to Florida. As you said, chased the dream for a while, but I've been a coach here for now a little over 2.5 years. I actually started out in the Pinehurst area, still live there with my fiance who works at US Kids Golf Academy, and transitioned up here after one academy just didn't quite work out the way we were hoping. And it's been awesome working with people like yourself and other students. I mean, you just saw me finish up 2 straight lessons.
You've been going, and you've been going all day, man.
I haven't had a break till this time.
I know. I saw you on your story. I was like, man, you're grinding all day. But that's awesome. It just shows you, though, the growth of golf, the amount of fun golf is, no matter the skill level. And I think a lot of people don't know where to start. I took my buddy to the range yesterday. Went out to Wakefield. It was gorgeous. Went out there with actually Brent Plunkett, who actually helped me get into GOLFTEC. And, just by having the tips. And I grew up playing golf, but not necessarily at, I enjoyed it and I played junior golf, but I didn't really have that commitment at that particular time. Now I think you're starting to see more people maybe getting into a little bit later in life. And just knowing having an idea. Now my brother-in-law signed up for GOLFTEC, but have an idea of what you're doing goes a long way.
It does. I think it's an intimidating sport to get involved in at first because it's so hard and challenging. There's so many little details to it, and even just going to a golf course and checking in can be an intimidating experience for a lot of people. So I think it's just getting you comfortable. A place like GOLFTEC is a great place to start, where it's just you get into a safe environment. It's just you and an instructor, and you start to learn just the basic fundamentals: good grip, good posture, just overall general motion of the pivot, and just getting the ball in the air. I think that's kind of the big thing we're all striving for when you start out, is just seeing the ball get airborne, feeling good contact, and then from there,
there's nothing like it.
There's nothing.
That
like
first
it.
time you hit a
Nothing
ball,
like it.
I tell everybody it's like a drug. You know,
Yeah.
especially that good impact, that noise that makes. You know,
And we have
yesterday
a-
something I'm actually hitting divots now, like the good ones.
That's a good.
It's like, oh my gosh! But before I started working with you, I would either scoop the ball, still working on that, or hitting it thin, or not hitting it the way I need to hit it.
Yeah, not solid contact. But even we've got a great training environment here, being indoors. It's controlled. It's always 70 degrees. We get great feedback to kind of show you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. But there is no greater feeling than going outside with a student like yourself, or even I played with a student yesterday down in the Sanford area, and seeing just the ball fly and go toward their flag or their target that they're aiming at, and they have that euphoria. That's the kind of stuff you live for, and that's why.
And you see the light bulb. You see the light bulb come on. So
just the enjoyment. The pure joy of seeing that happen.
And tell everybody it's like the most. I'm just checking us in right now, man. So we're all good here, going across the board here. Look at this. Let's see. Make sure we're good here. Let's see. We make sure we're set. But there's not a better, most like addictive, frustrating, fun game out there. And then you're like, you can't wait to. And it's funny how the golf gods know. At 18, you hit a ball, and you're like, I know what I'm doing now. Right. Yeah. And so, but I will say before I started working with Matt, guys, if I broke 100, I think that was a good day. And now I've broken 90 a couple times. Really, it's not 89, still have the golf ball there, but I'm right on the fringe. It's just okay. Yeah, so 92, 93.
Just the other day, you sent me a note. You shot 40 for 9 holes.
On the back with a triple on 18. So it's a matter of keeping the ball in play, limit the 3 putts, but having that. As far as you go, when did you pick up the club for the first time?
Well, both my parents played, so the game was kind of in my life from a young age, but I really took the game up at 8 years old. I think I played my first junior club championship at like 9, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And then we had a local tour in the area called the Titleist Tour back then. Started playing that at 10, 11, just little 9-hole things. And then from there, I played other sports. They started to fall off the pace. And then eventually high school, I made the decision to go golf full time. And that was about 13 years old, and just been playing it ever since. And,
so then when did you know, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Probably my sophomore year of high school. Mm-hmm. Actually, freshman year, I was still playing basketball. I kind of wanted to play for my high school team, and I got cut my freshman year, which was pretty devastating. And had a conversation with my dad, and we just said, hey, he said to me, I think you can go a long way in golf if you dedicate yourself. And I agreed. So I worked really hard that summer. In my sophomore year, I actually ended up winning my district as a sophomore, made it to states and finished top 15 in states. And that's when I kind of realized, okay, if I can keep applying myself, I can do something here.
Yeah. And then, then you went on to go play collegiately in all 4 years. I'm assuming you graduated.
Yeah,
all academic, and then
at the time I graduated, it's probably not this anymore, but I had the 4th most rounds played in school history. I think I missed 3 tournaments, and they're all my freshman year, but I didn't miss one for the last 3.5 years. I was very consistently in the lineup. Blessed to be healthy along that way too, but I played a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then when did you say, I'm going to try this as a career, or when did you?
Pretty much right after. I started playing. I moved to Myrtle Beach, spent about a year there, and then had an opportunity to go to Florida. Actually was a house parent in an academy, so I just watched over some kids, but I had a free membership at a great resort with 3 golf courses, and then kind of got my own place, joined up with a coach named Gary Gilchrist, I'm still close to this day, a trainer, and just kind of got a really good team around me. And that's when I started to just figure out how to be a professional from the playing perspective, and how to prepare, how to train, how to get ready for an event, and just kind of how to get better and just use my strengths more than anything, and limit the weaknesses as best I could.
That's awesome. So going back to college, what was that like? I mean, what was, can you just share a couple experiences that you had? Maybe the best player you played against, or
best player.
And you play the course, but
So there was an event where Daniel Berger played in it, who's a couple-time winner on the PGA Tour, I did tie him that day, and then the event got snowed out.
Oh, jeez.
Ironically, yeah. We both shot it like I think 1 or 2 over in 35-degree temperatures in Virginia at Kings Mill, and it snowed that afternoon with like 3 or 4 inches, and they just canceled the tournament. But I did tie him, and he was the number 1 player in the country at the time.
Wow.
But I kind of
where was he playing?
Florida State.
Very cool.
Now I don't know. I played with his teammate. He was another group, but I played with his teammate, and I forget his name, but he was a really solid player too. Another guy I did play with was Sam Ryder, who's a PGA Tour player currently. He was at Stetson. Might be one other guy, but our home event, I actually have a T-shirt. We have Keegan Bradley won it. Oh. Billy Hurley won it, and also Mackenzie Hughes won it.
Yeah,
all PGA Tour guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And playing professionally, you won 6 times. What tour was that on, or what was that like?
Moonlight Golf Tour down in Florida, and then the Florida Professional Golf Tour.
And that's like a minor league.
So, very minor league system. Yeah, I mean, it's basically you're paying for your entry fees. There's no sponsorships. It's just whatever you put in the purse, the tournament officials give you back 40% of it. They pay some to the golf course, and then they take some for administrative fees. But you're just kind of paying for your own career, trying to make your way, make an earning. Basically, just trying to get by. That's about as best you can do at that level.
You know, it's I mean, you're grinding.
You're grinding.
It's interesting. It's not necessarily the same, but same concept. When I was a college basketball coach, or at least starting out, and I was coaching at Ouachita Baptist Division II, Arkadelphia. Everybody sees the, obviously at the time, my aspirations to be a Division I head coach, and you see the big times and the multi-million-dollar contracts.
But in reality, before it.
No, you're living in sometimes dorms. You're driving in all night. It's a grind, but you do it because you love it.
I have a very good friend still doing it, and he was talking about a guy living out of his car currently.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that's amazing. What led you to GOLFTEC?
So right around the time my career ended, I actually tore the labrum in my left hip. So I had surgery. So I thought, I kind of burned out by that point. And I said, I want to give back to the game more than anything else versus being a little bit selfish and just playing the game for myself. And I kind of started the road down instruction. I really started to dive deep into books and picking coaches' brains on the golf swing and just, what causes this, what does that. So I wanted to get into coaching. So my fiance and I moved to Pinehurst. She took a job. I took a job. And then when that kind of fell apart, I just found GOLFTEC, and I knew it was going to be a great opportunity to teach a lot of people and see a lot of different things and learn the business side of being your own coach. And I felt that was the best decision.
That's awesome. And now your fiance is a golf instructor too, or she plays?
She is. She used to play like I did. She stopped before me.
And where did you meet?
Down in Florida. Yeah. Yep.
So what's y'all's dinner conversations?
A lot about golf swing.
A lot of getting up.
Yeah. I had this person doing this. How would you fix that? Or she teaches most juniors, so it's it's like crazy things a junior said during a lesson.
That's fantastic.
It is.
I tell if I get home, I'll talk to Leslie. She's like, I have no idea, nor do I care, but she pretends to. So we actually got Leslie some golf clubs because we just joined Wakefield, so we got something to do there. So how long have you been at GOLFTEC then?
I've been here since November of 2022.
Oh, time's flying, man.
I know.
So obviously I'm here. Brent referred me to GOLFTEC. I think a lot of people may see it, not really quite understand. I will say, guys, what they market, improve 7 strokes. I will tell you, if you put it into it, it does work. Maybe talk about GOLFTEC and how someone would benefit from it. I think. Yeah. As far as just the lessons in general.
Well, I think the big thing is it's the commitment from not only the student, but the coach, because we're committing 3, 6, or 12 months to getting you better. And you're going to be with us every single time, whether it's for that 30 minutes or that hour. You've got our full attention. We've got cameras to analyze your swing. We've got OptiMotion technology, which is basically just wireless 3D. So we can see how much you're turning, tilting, swaying, bending, which are just functions of pivot. And that will affect what the ball flight is basically, depending on where you are on that spectrum. But then we've also got just some great software data to read your club path, face path, things like that. And, we are certified. So we go to Denver twice before we're able to teach a lesson. And they kind of give us the rundown of, how to conduct a lesson, how to get a player better, how to look for specific things. So I think the big thing is we're not just someone throwing the range who, plays good golf. It's we are people who have been trained to know how to develop a golf swing and how to develop a player.
I think me being very visual, it's very helpful. When we're doing a lesson, I hit, take a break, we watch it, and then we work on things for that particular lesson. Yep. Then within 15 minutes, I've got it already uploaded to my app, so I can watch it when I get home.
That's the thing
You've got drills ready for to prepare, things to work on. Because I think when you're out at the course on the range, it's good. But unless you're setting up some sort of tripod or something to watch you, I know it's, because I know my dad told me a long time ago, my dad loved golf. He's like, if it usually feels right, it's wrong.
I love that answer when it's like, I say to him, how's that feel? They go, it feels awful. I go, then we're probably doing it
right. Yeah. Because I mean, and then now it's just repetition to doing that, but being able to see your swing real time.
And to your point on the notes, I think that's the hardest transition is when the coach is there, you're always getting that feedback of whether it's good or not, but understanding how to go practice, which is something I talk to my students a lot about, because unless you want to give me a lot of money, I can't be with you 24/7 watching you what to do. Yeah. But it's how do you do it without me there? Yeah. And understand how to practice.
Well, the cool thing is you give me lesson tips to do in my family room. You don't have to be outside all the time. Certain things to work on.
Just need a mirror sometimes is all you need.
So I mean, and really, I think it's also the commitment that you need to have to put forward to get better. But I think the first thing is for a lot of people is just to I think sometimes there's an intimidation factor of golf lessons because you don't, it's hard. And so it's anything, again, you don't necessarily maybe want to be vulnerable to not doing something good, but like Brent made a great comment to me when I didn't know what GOLFTEC was. I driven by this a million times. Yeah. And, but he's just like, his thing that dawned, I was like, I'm going to go play. I at least want to have an idea of what I'm doing to where I'm trying to be better.
Yeah, no doubt.
So in regards to experience level, I mean, it's for everybody, right? I mean,
I've had people walk in who've been playing for 30 plus years. And then I've had people they'll say to me, this is my first time ever touching or hitting a golf ball.
Yeah. So you've got something ready.
So, those lessons is more just, okay, here's how to hold it. Here's how to set up to it. Here's how to brush the grass or just kind of clip the ball off the tee in the same spot over and over again. And then they finally catch one and you can see that you said that look in their eyes. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah. And for most people, they're just hooked from that shot
immediately. And then, so as far as GOLFTEC, there's a great question I want to ask you too is, what separates a GOLFTEC from some other maybe, lesson programs that are out there?
I think it's the training environment. I think being indoors I think if we talked about this 15 years ago, people would have said, why are you taking golf lessons indoors? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But the way you kind of isolate the training environment and get the motion better, get the mechanics better on video and see a change in either the motion or the ball flight. And then you can take that feel of the golf course. Because in some ways, being in here, you're taking the result out of the equation and you're just focused on changing the path, changing all that stuff that we talk about in every lesson. And then you just go feel on the golf course and you can go be that athletic golfer and trust in what you just trained. So I think that's what really separates it. And then I think it's using the technology. And this is just maybe a public service announcement to people, but if you're going to a golf instructor who's not using video or a launch monitor in 2025, I would reconsider that instructor.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I mean, you get instant feedback. Yeah. How about a beginning player that comes to you and says, Matt, I want to start playing the game, but where do you begin? Like, what would be the most? What do you say?
I would say it's one, making sure you want to commit to it, but finding a coach that you gel with and can give you just the simple basics and tools to get better. And it depends on the person. Some people do better in a group environment, and you might want to just get with like a group of people who are similar to you and just say, hey, I want to learn how to learn the game of golf, and we're all in the same boat. But I'd say here it's more, okay, like if you're better with that one-on-one instruction, let's just get you to understand how to just start with even just putting or chipping, something simple, and just understanding how to get it done. But I even say, I've done this with some beginners, just go to the golf course and just kind of feel it out. Like go watch someone for 9 holes, go see what it's like. And you might just get the bug watching it. Yeah. I had a neighbor of mine. He was a year younger than me in high school, and about 9th grade, he just went to the golf course with me one day. He's like, where do you go? Well, I'm like, I go here. He's like, can I come with you? And we came home that day. He goes, can you teach me? And we're in my backyard all night hitting golf
That's
balls.
Awesome.
So I think it's just sometimes just getting exposed to it and seeing how cool it is. And then if you're into that community feel, like a country club, you see how golf brings people together, and you want to be a part of that.
Just have fun. And how about telling somebody that may not see the results right away, and hopefully they don't quit before they really see that? And it's similar to my profession, and there's 86% of agents don't make it to their second year. They don't understand they're farmers. They're not hunters initially. And they don't see necessarily the results. And, it's like banging on that stone, and you don't know which time it's going to break. I know it's not necessarily the same, but similar. I think, too, as far as a younger golfer, like my son, we've been out and hit. We don't play a lot. I'm hoping to play more with him. But I think kids want to be good at something right away. And that frustration comes in, and I could see where it's easier.
Depends on the personality style. I would say first, make it, if we're talking kids, make it fun. Make it enjoyable, make it where they feel like they're belonging to something. And then if they start to get that bug, then go into more of the individual instruction and kind of set goals and parameters and see how far they can take it. I was always very driven as a kid to become the best I could be, but I knew kids who kind of taper off. But I think it's more just showing you the enjoyment and setting the right expectation. You don't have to be this PGA Tour aspiring player. If your goal is, I just want to go out on the weekends and have fun with my friends, then let's make that your goal. So I think it's understanding how much time you want to dedicate and who you want to be, and don't go too far past what's realistic based on what you want to do and what time you want to put in. Like I have people who come in and they say, hey, I just want to shoot, I want to break 100. Okay. Well, then you probably have to practice 2 days a week and do this. But if someone comes to me and goes, hey, I want to break 80, or even start being a scratch golfer, then I've got to start saying, hey, let's talk about getting a physical trainer. Let's talk about even getting a mental coach if you want to get down to that level, because it's going to take more of the holistic approach to get you there.
Do you see that being going off script here, but this is great. So you played, professionally, and there's so many great golfers, like scratch. And what separates? Is it between the years? Obviously short game, but then you see the PGA live. That's a very small percentage. But then you have what separates them? In your opinion?
I'd say it's mostly mental at that level, because if you threw up every ball flight, you wouldn't know who was who. You might know the shape of it, but where the ball finishes, they all look the same. I think it's a little bit of self-belief and confidence, and the guys who are really good, they know who they are. They don't try to be somebody else. It's amazing the stories I've heard of guys who've gotten on tour and then they go from hitting a draw, and then they see Scotty Scheffler playing a fade and they go, well, I need to fade it now. It's like, no, you got to the tour playing.
How many guys have you seen trying to do the shuffling footwork?
More than you want to know. More than you want to know. Or even like just any kind of idiosyncratic move, they try to follow. But I would say my trainer we always did this. Like it's that thin. and we're just trying to close that gap.
Yeah.
But I had a great message, and I'll say his name. His name's John Davidson. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he was a chiropractor where I grew up, and he came up to me one day on the putting green right as I was about to leave home, and he said, "I hear you want to turn pro." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to turn pro." And I didn't know this. He played minor league baseball, and he told me, "I never got out of single A. I was in the 99th percentile. I got to about 99.5. Just because you don't get to the 0.9 doesn't mean you're good. Remember that. I always remember that, because I probably got to where he got to, but I don't look down on myself. I'm a really good golfer.
Yeah.
I think I'm a actually better instructor. But I mean, being that far off isn't a bad thing. It's just you either run out of time, you run out of money, or some ways you just didn't play well at the right time. So it was luck, a little bit of luck.
A little luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I had friends back at school when I went to Charlotte and went really good golfers, and you know, it's just always interested me because they can all play. And I went to
the best are themselves.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Spieth's great putter. Jordan Spieth. He's been trying to fix his golf swing for so long. He won majors hitting it in the woods and in the rough and all over the place. But he was such a good scrambler and had a great attitude. Like someone like that has kind of forgotten who he was at his best. He needs to go back to that. A guy like Scotty, I mean, he's just a ball striking machine. A guy like,
it's amazing what he's accomplished in such a short amount of time. And the guy's just,
but he had to kind of figure some other things out, which he hasn't quite revealed. I mean, it's been some putting, but I bet it was some confidence stuff. And sometimes just an experience, like him being picked on that Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, I think was the catalyst for him going on this run. I think he gained a lot of confidence from that week. Something we don't talk about. That isn't talked about a lot.
This is great, man. What's your biggest, I had this besides me. The jury's still out. What's your biggest success story, you know, as an instructor? Or do you have one?
I actually do. And this guy sadly has moved away. If you're watching, Sean Potter, hello.
If he's not, we'll send it to him.
Sean came to me.
Now, is this here?
This was here.
Okay.
This was here. He came to me, was consistent mid-80 golfer, sometimes in the 90s, gave him some lessons, and he shot 78, broke 80 for the first time. About 2 months later, and Sean's a very curious guy, and he said to me, "You know, I'm left-handed," and he's playing right-handed, but he's like, "You know, I'm naturally left-handed." I said, "Oh, okay." He goes, "I think I should play golf left-handed." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "I think I'd be better left-handed."
Yeah. And
he goes, "I really want to give this a shot." I said, "Okay, well, go buy a 7-iron, like a bad, or I'll build you one. Let's set up a lesson lefty and see how it goes." Well, the first lesson, he hits a 7-iron 20 yards further than he did right-handed, and his swing was more natural. And I thought, I'm going to have to teach you the opposite way of playing golf.
Yeah.
So he committed a year. He's like, "I need a year to get good at this." Within 8 months, he had not only broken 90, he broke 80. Left-handed.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I wanted to send this story to Golf Digest because it's pretty fascinating to me that he learned the opposite way and broke 80 twice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but he and his wife just had a baby girl and moved back to Colorado.
Did he?
Yeah, but great guy.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that always comes to mind, that I don't think I'll ever have that experience again.
To say I'm going to go lefty. He must have been a pretty good athlete too.
Yeah. But he didn't hit the ball very far right-handed. Just didn't have much power. And then he picked up 30 yards just switching. So it's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So why do you love what you do, man?
I love the enjoyment on my players' faces and seeing their goals succeed. And that's kind of when I went back to, saying earlier, giving back to the game was kind of where I wanted to change my goal.
Yeah.
And seeing players improve, we set a goal, we have that kind of peak, that mountain to climb, and just seeing that progress go from lesson to lesson to lesson. Every time they come in, it's like, okay, I want this better. That's getting better. Okay, now let's do this. And just that constant progression. And then they come in and I go, "How was that round of golf?" And they go, "Oh yeah, shot my goal," or broke 80 or 90 for the first time. And that's the thing that gives me the most joy.
I bet you. That's cool.
As a coach, I think you can relate to
that.
Yeah.
No, you see the light bulb come on, and pretty neat. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, man, that's a loaded question. I would love to have my own academy one day and go to a golf school. Where that will be, time will tell. Yeah. But I love to kind of have a place that not only can train golfers in your shoes, but I would like to have that 13, 14-year-old who has that dream like I did to play college golf, or if they want to go beyond, we can talk about that too, but show them the pathway and give them the steps up the ladder to get there. That'd be kind of the big thing for me. I would love to help kids in that kind of area improve and get their game there.
I love it. Yeah. You can do it. So before I get to my rapid questions, which are a lot of fun, tell everybody again how to reach you. Of course, you're going to be, up on social, what have you.
Yeah.
But, so one thing I will say, guys, about Matt, I started with GOLFTEC. The original coach left, but got with Matt. And it was like meant to be in the fact that I think the way you teach the game is very straightforward, meaning very easy to pick up depending on what you're trying to get good at or work on, and simplify it. Yeah, and it's little things at a time. And
I learned that from my coach. We always had the phrase, we were both perfectionists, but you can't be a perfectionist in this game. And you got to make it simple. You got to make it understandable. And I think I've always kind of tried to preach that to everybody. And the way I try to teach is just giving you drills to feel what you want to accomplish and not getting too technical, giving you the right feedback, and then just making it kind of fun and challenging. Like we've been doing lately, you've been pretty dialed in. So we've been throwing up on the simulator, the 12th hole at Quail Hollow. And let's see if we can hit the green 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah, then I'll say one more.
Yeah. we're at 5 out of 10. We got to try one more.
It was fun. Me and Brent yesterday at Wakefield, we wouldn't practice because I was trying to actually practice better to get more of a practice session in, and so they have really good targets out there. So he and I made it kind of competitive. We were like, okay, best 5 out of 5. We hit 150 yards, 125 yards, 100 yards, and then we actually a couple times we played like a hole. So Perfect. we have the image of the fairway, and depending on we hit it, then we're like, okay, we got to 160 in. So you sit rather you're just beating balls, but it just kind of still puts that.
But it has that purpose, which is I think the biggest key.
Yeah. My biggest thing I got to work on is just continue to keep it in play and lessen the 3 putts, which I worked on lag putting yesterday.
Good.
So trying to stay below the hole too. That helps.
Where you can follow me, Matt Fry Golf is where I'm at on Instagram. Trying to grow that. We were talking about that the other day. But you can reach me, Matt Fry Golf at Gmail or mattfry@golftec.com, or just call the number here, 919-865-2858. And just let us know when you're ready for an eval. I'd love to just show you the place, see what it's like, and just kind of how the process works and what the plan will look like.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is how you start. You get a kind of an hour swing analysis, and I think when if anybody that wants to come do that, you see right away what it's about, and then they've got different programs.
If you're an experienced player, leave the ego at the door a little bit, because we're going to go into the why you're struggling. And I mean, you had a coach before me. I'm sure it was an eye-opening experience, like it always is. And sometimes people have never seen their swing on video, and
didn't even know
they have they sometimes have really poor reactions to it. It's not to tell you that you're awful. It's just, okay, this is what we're going to do to change you and get you better.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's all it's about.
This is awesome. All right, rapid questions. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, favorite food?
Oh, got to go with good pizza.
Pizza, what kind of pizza?
Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like New York style or regular?
Pineapple and ham.
Yeah, you like that, huh?
Simple. Yeah.
Favorite restaurant?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It could be local, could be anywhere that you've eaten. Like,
I always like a good steakhouse. I just went to one at my bachelor party, but I'm not going to pick this one. It's a Charlie's down in Orlando.
Where'd you go to your bachelor party?
It's a place called A Land Remembered at Shingle Creek Resort.
So I'm assuming golf was involved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Where's that?
It's basically right by the airport, right by Universal.
Oh, so down in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's a restaurant down there, Charlie's Steakhouse.
Amazing.
Love going there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Favorite band?
Ooh, man, there's a couple. Live or in general?
Just in general. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do both.
Okay. I would say I saw U2 live, and they're one of my favorite bands. That was an incredible experience. But I'm very old school. Probably my favorite band is Genesis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is old school.
I did.
That Phil Collins?
It is.
Phil
and my
Collins.
dad and I saw them on their farewell tour. And I don't know why, but I remember hearing their music. I think I was like early high school, and it's just stuck with me ever since. Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite sports team? I already know this answer.
Yeah, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. Is it football primarily, or do you have any others? Do you follow?
I follow the Orioles. Even though I grew up in Maryland, never been really a DC sports fan.
Yeah.
So I kind of fallen into the Orlando Magic for my NBA team.
Oh, yeah.
But no real hockey team.
Yeah. We'll get you a Canes. You'll be a Canes fan. Honorary Canes fan.
I'm fine with that.
Nice.
I know, but the Ravens definitely, no doubt. Orioles were on the struggle bus growing up for me, so more memories for the Ravens than the Orioles. But we're getting back on track.
Getting there. Yeah. What do you like to do when you're not working? Besides golf.
Yeah. Well, we know that answer.
Yeah.
Sitting back watching a good movie.
And you've already said, best player you've already played that you've played with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Touched on that one. This is good. What's one thing that someone wouldn't know about you? Which would be like, oh, really? You can do that? Or
like a special talent?
Not necessarily that, but like wouldn't know, like just something interesting.
I feel like I'm very open book, so I think most people know everything about me. I might have to come back to you on that one.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Best place you visited?
I think it's coming up on my honeymoon, but at the moment it's probably Cabo down in Mexico.
Where are you going on your honeymoon?
Italy.
Oh, beautiful. How long?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, you'll have a great. When are you getting married again?
April 5th.
April 5th.
Coming up.
Down in Florida?
No, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Where?
Seabrook Island.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So where's a place that you haven't been besides Italy, because you're coming, that you would love to visit?
Yeah. A dream of mine has always been to do an African safari.
Oh.
So somewhere like South Africa or I'm drawing a blank on
my best friend lives in New York. He's probably been a handful of times, and he says it's the best. Yeah, he does it right though. I mean, they got nice place.
They do like the Four Seasons.
Yeah, and they'll break out, like they'll go watch the rhinos or something, and they break out the table with drinks and food right there. But I mean, like it's nothing like it. He said. Okay. I mean, he's like, you're eating and there's a cheetah right there.
Yeah. No, my coach is from South Africa, so he's posted stuff from game reserves, and I'm very jealous every time he goes back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good one. You could eat dinner with two people, dead or alive. Who would it be?
Man. I mean, I'd first say Ben Hogan would be number one. And I'm going old school here, but I actually would like Ben Hogan, Abraham Lincoln be two that come to mind. It'd be a very interesting conversation.
That would be.
Yeah. Just history, politics, and then you got a little golf. And I'd ask Ben Hogan probably every question that people would want to know.
Yeah, his book's legendary.
Yeah. Well, a lot of mystique around him that, people will love to know what was did he have a secret, or was it just an aura and a kind of a fiction about it? But I'd be curious. Mm-hmm. I'd be curious what he figured out for himself.
That's cool.
But that's a guy, again, who kind of figured it out for himself and then stuck to that.
Yeah. All right. This one's I have asked from the very beginning. I've always said whenever the Super Terb Podcast retires, it could be really cool because I've got everything documented. I can make a little book. Okay. I think it's really interesting. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's the best advice you've ever received, and by who?
You said these are good questions. They are good questions.
Big thing.
Yeah. I think I just would go toward my parents and say the best advice they both kind of gave me was always just be yourself. And people's actions aren't always about you. It's more about them. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah, my mom's a school teacher, so growing up, I'm sure being a parent, you see all the time with bullying.
Mm-hmm.
She always said to me, if someone says anything negative about you, it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah, I like that. That's good, man. Well, look, brother, this is awesome.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on the podcast, man. I'm telling you, it was a lot of fun being here on location. Guys, they're right off Six Forks Road, Strickland area, North Raleigh, right next to Rodino, so you can actually finish the lesson.
It's always our finder. It's always our finder.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Rodino's, you know how to find us.
But if you're at all thinking about wanting to improve your golf game, guys, hit up my boy Matt. Like I said, come just have a lesson or a swing evaluation. You won't be wrong. Again, it's such a great game. I mean, as I've gotten older, now it's just something, like I said, I think the handicap system even makes it more fun because you could play with all skill levels, and then there's fireball involved on birdies, and now we're getting into the that was one other thing too. Do you have an influence? Is there golf influencers you like? Or do you watch any YouTube?
I don't. I would say if I'm trying to learn about the golf swing, there's two guys I would look at: Athletic Motion Golf. Sean Webb's an instructor I met a few months ago, just in passing. He trained under my coach, Gary Gilchrist, so they kind of speak the same language I do in a lot of ways. The other one I would say is for short game, anything James Siegman.
Very cool. I'll have to check it out. I watch Bob Does Sports and just watch him do fun things. Granted, that's not necessarily teaching you the game. It's more. I watched. Is it Horvath?
Grant Horvath.
Horvath. Last night I was up and I watched. They did Making the Cut, and so it was pretty cool because they played number 2.
There you go.
A couple weeks before the Open, and
gotcha.
he actually shot a 69, best he ever did. But it was pretty neat to watch because I was at the Open and I played in July, kicked my butt. Yeah. But that was pretty neat. But anyway, there's so much out there, so it makes it a lot of fun.
Is, and I think kind of like if you're looking for instruction, this is my kind of pet peeve. Don't go coach to coach to coach. Yeah. Find like one person who you like a lot and just stick to their videos, because you need that one voice in the back of your mind. You don't want 55 reels and you don't want 50 instructors telling you what to do. 100 ways to shadow the club. Yeah. Find one guy who does it consistently.
Cool, man. Well, this is awesome, bro. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Come and see my boy Matt. And guys, if there's anything we can do to be helping you accomplish your real estate goals, please let me know. Again, I'm Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Turbot Group here in the Raleigh, Durham Triangle area. If you're listening nationally, that'd be awesome. Come see me. And then if you're out there and you're a local business owner, entrepreneur, coach, and you want to tell your story, reach out to me. I'd love to get you on the podcast and help you grow your business and tell your story, man. It's awesome. So,
it's a pleasure.
All right, man. Again, it's Michael Turbot with Matt Fry. Remember, who you work with matters, and we'll see you next time on the Super Terb Podcast. We'll see you.